in their second league championship success. Now we move to the start of the next season with the traditional opener, the Charity Shield, for which Man City, as league champions, were given home advantage over the cup holders, West Bromwich Albion. Would you do the City side this time, please, Bob?
Yeah, why not? Good old Joe, the manager. Mike Doll, number 4, interesting character. He actually hated Manchester United. Every time we used to play them, he used to have nasty things to say about us. George Heslop, good, solid central defender. Alan Oakes, a lovely player. Up front, obviously, Franny Lee, Colin Bell, Mike Summerby, and curly-haired Bobby Owen. You got him from Bury, I think, Bobby Owen. Yeah. And, of course, Neil Young with a great left foot. Really a lot of goals in their armoury at City then.
And you know the West Brom side then, Mike. Perhaps you'll take us through, will you?
Tough team, they were, very tough. They got a few injuries, but still a very difficult side to beat. They had Doug Fraser at the back, two good fullbacks. Had Fraser and Williams, who were very hard players, took no prisoners. Tony Brown, a Manchester lad, Bomber Brown, good goal scorer. John Kay, a steady, exceptional player. And we've got young Asa Artford there, 17 years of age that time, I think. It's 17, Asa. It might have been one of his first games, I think. So Dick Criswicky was a good person, wasn't a regular player, but quick. You know.
So a tough team to beat.
A tough side to beat. We'll have to do today.
Right, OK. Well, the Charity Shield then, 1968, the year that Tony Jacklin became the first English golfer to win a major US tournament. Graham Hill won the Monaco Grand Prix and Rod Laver won the first Wimbledon Open.
There's the referee, Mr. H.G. New of Portsmouth, the Albion to kick off. Criswicky, the man kicking off. Criswicky, despite his name, is a Welshman born in Flintshire. Welsh under-23 international. It's Charity Shield been almost the sole preserve of Lancashire for some time now, ever since 1964. Only twice has it half come out. That was when West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur shared it with Lancashire clubs. This is Lovett, played at number 7 in the cup final. Collard to young Hartford. Got Owen up there with him. Here's Owen, and a goal!
A nice early goal then, Mike.
An inch-perfect pass as well. Did you see, Robert? Slide rule. You were going to say something then, weren't you? But you...
I didn't think you were capable of that, but there you go. We learn something every day.
I'm surprised today, aren't I? It was the first time you really looked at this, haven't you? Bobby Owen, nice little touch, but didn't have to move, did it? It was just one of those perfect inch passes, Robert, like you do.
Yeah. Well,
good start as well.
A good start. And it's only the Charity Shield. It's a pretty friendly game.
Great clear, that one. That was a sensational enough opening. 1-0, the champions in the lead. Pitch in perfect condition. Here's Owen. Bobby Owen again. Oakes, beautiful ball to Bell, and Summerby moving around very intelligently. And a goal! A goal scored by Lovett. He's put through his own.
Well, you set that goal up, really, didn't you? Although it was not scored by a City player.
It was. I think it was. It wasn't a bad cross. It was. The fellow was just going in. He couldn't get out of the way of it. If he'd let it go, it'd have gone in because I think I don't know who was playing centre. I think Bobby Owen was just behind him. So it was really. I mean, it was a good pass from Alan Oakes. It wasn't an inch perfect cross, but I forced it by the cross.
It was just a cross, and he made a tragic mistake. Didn't
I force it?
Don't make more of it than it is.
All right. Thank you, Robert.
They're playing extremely well. Brown, Stevens. Fraser. And a foul by Doyle. Right into the chest of. There's Doyle going right into the chest of Tony Brown. No, it's obstruction given. Mulhern was injured last week, couldn't play in the friendly, but that form has certainly recovered. Lee and Summerby beginning to make ground again on the right. This is Bell. Back to Heslop. Bell. Summerby on the right. City are finding a way through this Albion defence, giving Osborne a rough afternoon. Griswicki to Hartford. Now to Pollard. Young. And foul by Talbot on Lee. Number 5, John Talbot, signed by the Albion from Burnley. Free kick to City, and here's Lee. Everything City do, they do quickly and well. Young, Oakes. Doyle, and this is sweet, beautiful stuff. Okay. Fraser. He's got Talbot free, and he's got Williams. This is Talbot. Hartford was pushed in the back. He took that free kick when the ball was still moving. Williams. Albion skipper to take the kick. Griswicki. Hartford. Oh, a beauty. Stevens didn't have much chance to score then, as Pardo was coming across so bravely, but it was an effort by Hartford that really deserved a goal. Oakes. Summerby, Bell on the right wing. Very much like a corner. The linesman much better positioned than me, says no. Fraser. That was a remarkable header by Heslop. Now Lovett. Lee. Summerby up there with him. Oh, what a great ball to Summerby.
Just grazed the bar.
Just grazed the bar.
Was it greedy then?
You probably would have scored that one, would you, Bobby?
I don't know, but it was a great chance, you know. Franny Lee, bursting quick from the halfway line. He's really strong, running with the ball, and laid the ball off to him. I think it was a pretty easy chance, really. But just missed the bar, did it? Just.
I would think I was a bit greedy then. I could have pulled it back, but I don't.
No, I think you could have scored yourself.
It was an angled drive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
An angled drive.
Yeah. You weren't pleased with it then?
No, I wasn't. No.
Yeah.
Number 3 is Pardo. Summerby. Young by the number 2, Fraser. No trainer needed. When we get those defenders 10 yards away, is it Bell or Lee going to take it? Is Bell nearer the wall at the moment? No, Lee to Bell, to Summerby, to Lee. Oh, great!
Nice little set piece there.
Show business, isn't it?
It's worked out on the practice ground.
It's nice when you practice, Bobby will tell you, it's nice when you practice free kicks and they actually come off in a game.
Yeah.
And, you know, especially at the start of the season, you know, and it came off.
Yeah.
You know, it's always nice when you can work at things and it comes off. And Bobby knew what was going to happen.
You need pacey players for that.
Yes.
See, Franny Lee, kidded that he was going to take the free kick himself, didn't, went over the ball.
Yeah.
Either side. It's very quick. It's very difficult to stop that if it's done correctly.
Yeah, would Malcolm have sorted that out for you?
Well, we worked on different free kicks. I think we worked in those days on more set situations on free kicks, not just City, but other sides, because, you know, now people tend to bend the ball around the walls and try for these bending shots. But we used to work at free kicks consistently, and when you see it come off, you know, it is nice, especially in a game like this.
Away goes Summerby. How did Young? Notice how City love to use the flanks there, always bringing their wings into play. Goal kick to Albion. I think the reason that they never seem to be crowding so much as so many teams do. Summerby. Connor, the number 2, joining in the fun. To Doyle. And Bell. It is a lot of pushing and shoving. Bell saying that nonsense. Fraser was backing into me, but nevertheless, it's a free kick against Bell. Comes Kay for the Albion. Lovett. Obviously with ambitions to score for both sides. He's already scored for City. Now Bell, and it's Doyle moving forward. Lee on the right. In comes Lee. Great tackle by Williams. The pass wasn't hit quite hard enough by Doyle. Lovett trying to send Chris Wickley away. Is a chance. Yes, it must be. Yes, 3-1.
Good goal, Mac.
Exceptional goal. Now today, I think that the player the goalkeeper made a challenge on him.
Yeah.
Now today, I think he might have gone down, but he just carried on and put it in the net. I think today he might have gone down looking for a penalty, but you know he took it brilliantly. I'm just saying that today, some players today might have gone down, expecting a penalty, which he would have, but he carried on with the game. I think you did that in the game in those days. You carried on even if people made a tackle on you.
That's right, yeah.
Do you not think so, Robert?
I do indeed, yeah. That actually came about by the mistake by Mike Doyle at the other end when he had the chance to put Franny Lee into the dead ball line. Gave him a short pass, intercepted it down the other end and a goal.
Summerby, and it's Lovett. What a bad one by Williams. Now Summerby again. Here's Young. He's got a tremendous shot if he hits it properly. I remember seeing Neil Young, I think it was against Tottenham last season, with 2 fantastic shots of his that hit the crossbar. Just a minute of the first half left. What a splendid opening to the new season this has been. Number 11, Young. used to goals in the Charity Shield match. Last season it was 3-3, remember, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur. Now 3-1 and the first half not over. And the first half is over now, and this crowd rises to its feet as the players walk off. City 3-1 in the lead.
City with a strong advantage. We said West Brom without one or two players like Askell, Hope and Clark, but you were well in charge there, Mike, weren't you?
Yeah, we were playing well. The pitch was right for us to play football, and you know they were slightly under strength, but they brought quality players in, so we had to battle to get that 3-1 advantage.
Quite a battle.
Well, just looking at it as a neutral observer, it just appeared to me that City actually just wanted to win the game. They wanted to win the game. I mean, West Brom, I mean, if they're looking at this, they must be thinking, good heavens, you know, because there were so many spaces in the middle of the field. They weren't marking when they got the ball. They were giving it to the City. It was a poor performance by West Brom, but it was a Charity Shield, and it was a very charitable game, you know, as far as West Brom were concerned.
The pitch looked tremendous, of course, right at the very beginning of the season, but it's quite a wide pitch, you were saying, Mike.
The widest pitch in the league at that time, because they we played with two wingers, and the season before that they widened it, so we maintained that width for wingers to play. You can notice Alan Oates picking balls up. He was finding space. He could knock 20, 30-yard balls out to the wing. This is the way we played.
One thing that you notice, I think City were particularly fit this match. And when you're starting a new season, you have pre-season friendlies, etc. But there weren't a lot of pre-season friendlies in those days, if I can remember rightly. But getting your fitness, getting your match fitness for the start of the season proper was always a big problem. And I don't think that West Brom had it at that particular time. They really didn't look that fit.
Well, I tell you, Bobby, we have more goals to come in the second half after the break. To the 1968 Charity Shield, which spotlighted a classic period for Manchester City. They were league champions against the cup holders, in this case West Bromwich Albion, watching this with a great deal of interest and disbelief, I think, sometimes, Bobby Charlton, and also our special guest, Mike Summerby, who was such a stalwart of City at that time. Half-time score, 3-1 to City. Let us pick up play in the second half.
And City kick off. What a wonderful welcome they've given to the new season. Foul on Young by Fraser. He just stood there. It's an indirect free kick for obstruction. Watching this game are the group of Italian FA trainers, including their national coach and Gigi Peronacci, also Gainza, the coach of Atletico Bilbao, and I should imagine they've all got a healthy respect for English football after the first 45 minutes. Talbot getting out of trouble well, bringing in his henchman, John Kay, to work so well together. Pardo to Oates. Immaculate pass of the ball to Summerby. And you notice there's obstruction because number 4, Lovett, ran right across Summerby. As Summerby pushed the ball forward, tried to make ground, Lovett made no attempt to get the ball into anything. He just ran right across Summerby's line. Lee, and joining in the fun is Doyle. Even from ricochet, there'll always be a City player there to pounce on it. Brown, Chris Wickie, chopping at the bit, wanting to make ground on the right. Brown's not releasing the ball quickly enough. The chance then for Albion. They were outnumbering City. Owen. Oh, it's a goal! Yes! There's the goal, definitely over the line.
It was a goal, but I think at that point, John Osborne got injured, didn't he, Mike?
Well, he'd already been injured. There was a shot earlier from Francis Lee that he went down to. I think he must have dislocated his finger. And then with Bobby Owen shooting, then he couldn't get hold of it and it just trickled over. But I think you'll find that he's struggling a little bit. He's not gone off yet, but...
Yeah, I think it's a Francis Lee shot that
he struck it hard, Franny Lee, yeah. I don't know if that was actually when he did it or...
Yeah.
Or maybe it's something that he's had before and it's just sort of brought it on, you know, made it worse. But it was the friendly thing that instigated it, and of course, when that shot came in, he was struggling with it.
But we were 3-1 up already, though.
Yeah.
So that's not an excuse on the 6, is it?
No.
Well, they say there's no such thing as a bad goal, but really that's the first unentertaining goal we've had. Hartford. And off go Manchester City again. It's Young with Somerby on the left wing, Owen in the middle. It's meant for Lee. Brown for the out. Wiki, and good bit of running by Collard. Even. And is it a foul? Yes. Free kick to Manchester City, a foul by Hartford on Mulhern. So still 4-1 for City. In trouble and then put his captain Williams in trouble. Bell, Somerby on the right with Lee. Lee now to Doyle. Now Young. Almost on 5. Young has scored. Minutes gone. And it's Young, last season's top goal scorer, has been 5-1.
That left footer you're talking about, Neil Young's left foot.
Yeah, he's a great left foot. As soon as he got the ball and he was just lining it up, there was no way that it wasn't going to be a goal. Even though the goalie had a bad hand, it didn't make any difference. He wouldn't have stopped that.
No.
He was lethal with his left foot, Neil Young.
Scored lots of quality goals from that position there, where he's just... and I don't think he would have had much chance, even if he had two hands for that one.
So John Osborne eventually going off then. He really has had a finger or a thumb, whatever it is. And in fact, I think Williams moves into goal and Alec Merrick comes on as a substitute.
And it's his shoulder. And Williams goes into goal. The captain, and there's Osborne coming off. No, it's his fingers. It's his fingers, isn't it? Yes. Hartford. Collard, you're offside. Kay coming up with the attack. It's Collard. To Hartford. Hartford caught offside. Most promising player, this young Asa Hartford. Somerby. Doyle. Moving his ball about it. Will. Lovely to see the players running off the ball so intelligently. Real bad one that, meant for Lee, who moved into position. Brown. Chiswicky moving into the middle, and here's Hartford in action. Whenever City want to strike, they just move in, strike, and get the ball.
The atmosphere at Manchester should be marvellous at this time because you'd actually won the European Cup in the June, and they were league champions as well.
Right.
No,
So
Manchester was a great place. It was a centre of football at that time. You know, I mean, the public couldn't get enough of the football, and all the teams doing well. City doing well, United doing well, lots of European action. You know, always in the running throughout the whole season. No, it was a great place to be, Manchester, at that time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
agree.
totally agree with him. It was great, you know, to be on a par. You know, we've come from a couple of seasons before from nothing, and then we were competing at the highest level, you know, and we'd won the first division championship. It was great. It was Manchester, for me, was a wonderful thing to be able to come to play in Manchester at that particular time, you know.
Giving a real porridge of that one. Owen. Well, Owen having his hat-trick teed up for him by Lee. All it is, it's a corner. Comes Hartford. Stevens on the left wing. This is Stevens. Good ball to Chiswicky. Young waiting until Lee came back from an offside position. Now to Somerby, Bell inside him. This is Bell. Lee will have another go at that. Chiswicky versus Heslop. And Stevens coming into the act. City, a team of so much energy, they're very quick to get back from their attacking positions as soon as danger threatens. Oakes to Bell. In moves Somerby. Lee. 6-1. 44 minutes, 1 minute to go. And Porto Graham Williams. Not much chance.
Mike, Franny Lee goal.
I remember it quite vividly. I cushioned the header. It just came over. I just knocked it back to him, and he just took it well. You know, there was no. I was under no pressure, so I just cushioned it with the header, and he just took it and knocked it. But then it was really, I mean, as Bobby said, it's a charity shield, and
There's no tackling.
No.
Colin Bell at one particular stage there, you know, had about 2 or 3 options of who to pass to.
Yeah.
He actually, today, I would think, or in a serious match, he would have been trying to score himself because he didn't have that much time. But there's so much time for him here, he could pick either player out.
"45 minutes are up now. We're playing injury time. Much doubt about the result, even if there might be a question mark against the score. And if they can keep this form up, Tuesday night's celebration for last season's championship might only be a dummy run for this season. Both linesmen have signalled. Time is up. Crowd have been asked not to invade the pitch at the end because the winners will do a lap of honour. And here's Bell, Young. And the whistle goes for the end of the Charity Shield match, and Manchester City have won by 6 goals to 1. The crowd rise to the victorious Manchester City side, who will receive their trophy from the chairman of the Football Association, Dr. Stephen. There is Dr. Stephen with the charity shield. Dennis follows, the FA secretary on his left.
So what a way to start the season. Obviously, it must inspire City, because although they finished way down in the 13th place in the league, they did beat Leicester City to win the FA Cup at the end of this season. Great moment then, Mike, for you.
Yeah, it was great. We won the championship at the start of the season. There's no better start of a season than playing the Charity Shield and winning it so convincingly against a very tough West Bromwich Albion side. Correct, Robert?
Well, some very familiar old faces up on the dais there. Dennis Follows and people like that.
Alan O'Dell at the back, great servant of the Football Association.
Yes,
That's Dr. Stephen, the chairman of the FA at that particular time.
Well, some of the young supporters want to join in the act as well.
Yes, we said,
a great time.
Yeah, wonderful time.
A great period in Manchester, like you say, and it was terrific, that. And I wish I could say that it had been a pleasure watching Manchester City scoring all these goals, but I can't. But to be honest, I always love watching good players, and City had good players. They were a good team, and they actually had a great period then, which probably has been a bugbear for anybody that's played for City since. That was the greatest period that they've ever had.
Yeah.
And this lad had no small contribution to that, I must be honest.
What was he like as a player? I mean, how would you rate him?
Good crosser of the ball, very fast, brave, tough.
Don't go on too much.
I have to stop there because nothing else I can say about it.
Have you got any great memories of Mike?
No. We played against each other in lots of derby games, you know, but I think that the fans are always the ones that seem to suffer most when you lose a derby match, you know. I mean, the players seem to get over it. We always see each other socially at various functions, etc., and playing golf or going to dinners or what have you. And the players seem to always usually get on with each other fairly well. Yeah. It's just the fans, you know. But like I say, when you play a derby match, he could come across to me and kick me, you see, because his responsibility is not to our friendship, it's to the fans themselves, and he has to do it. You have a contribution. You have to make this for the fans. That's why I've made my little effort today. It's as much as I could do, and the worst thing that I've got to do now is to ask you for your autograph.
And while you're doing that, actually, can you memories of Bobby?
Well, it was just a privilege to be able to come into Manchester at that particular time. You know, you read about people, you know, your Charltons, your Laws, your Bests, and then suddenly when you're playing against him, it was just a privilege to play in Manchester at that particular time and play against the likes of Bobby Charlton.
If you'd like, right,
you know,
sign our book there.
I don't want to go on too much through because, you know.
No,
but it's been great having you, really, pal.
We'd like to have you back at one point to talk about those great Man City victories against Man United, actually. But there's the page is missing from the scrapbook, actually.
The programme is not long enough. Because we dominated in that time. I know he's going to say this, I could have brought the book, but we dominated Manchester in those times against a great Manchester United side, which is, you know, when you can actually come from... It's more difficult for me because when I came from the lower divisions, then suddenly you come up against people you've watched as a younger player and you've watched them from the lower divisions in the first division, and suddenly you're up against them, you know, and then eventually we get on top and we outplay them. This is so situations, you know.
This is so sad.
To play with Robert.
Mike, thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm sure you've enjoyed that nostalgic trip down to the 60s. Bobby and I'll be back next week with more memories to excite you. Until then, from all of us, goodbye.